basement's a garage. Come with me and I'll tell you the story of how I got my Camaro back on the road. Again. This probably won't be the last time, but keep watching if you would. I'd walk outside with the car, but it's freezing rain, and I don't feel like it. But there's the car and the Ford out there. So basically, this whole thing started in 2020 in the fall. I was just minding my own business, picking pumpkins, trying to make a living. And then my buddy Caleb, he texts me. He's like, "Hey man, I want you to come over and look at my C20 pickup I just revived. It was his great grandpa's truck. It sat around for a while. He revived it." I'm like, "Okay, yeah, we can do that." So I go over there, I'm looking at his truck. It's got 307, it's all badass, whatever. And then disaster struck. Looked out in his grandma's yard, and there's Camaro sitting there. 3rd gen, white, racing stripes, no motor or nothing. And I go, what's the deal with that car? He says, well, that was Uncle Jeff's, and he bought it, and then he pulled the motor out of it, 6-cylinder, and then he didn't ever do anything with it, and it's been sitting in the garage for 16 years. I'm like, bingo. So I asked around, and a week later, it was mysteriously on a trailer headed to my house. So then old Caleb and I put her back together. I rebuilt first we went to a junkyard, pulled out a 350 Vortec out of a 97 Yukon. And then I rebuilt that in high school, and then got some used parts and all kind of junk, put it together, drove it around for a little while, had it fuel injected, Fitec, not the way to go. It, like the ECU, burnt out of it or something. It was a couple years ago. I went to drive with a girl. That's what happened. Okay, went to take on a date. Wasn't having it. So now it's carbureted, and then put the carburetor on it, and then I got it dyno tuned. A whopping 270 horse out of this thing, I think. I don't even remember. And that was the end for the $400 Facebook transmission.
Oh, no. That was the transmission.
But hey, I got friends in medium to low places, and we got a different transmission put back in it. And I fixed the ride height because it was sitting way, way too low for me. I lifted it 1.5 inches. And, well, let me just show you whatever all of that I've got on video. And before I took the car apart, I thought I'd, give her a little drive around. That ended terribly. It died in the middle of the road. And I'm going to play that clip because it was really unfortunate to have to push the car down the hill through traffic into the driveway, and then walk half a mile to get the truck, jump it, drive the truck back, walk back, drive the car home, but it died a couple more times and it bottomed out of the driveway. But it's funny, so just enjoy. Also, it only had first gear, so I couldn't go that fast. So the Camaro fucking died again. Yeah, that's pain in my voice, you hear. And then after that, Caleb came over, we yanked the transmission out, and I'm not even going to chop it up because it's a good clip of just that process and just me and one of my best friends getting her done. All right. You go from the other side, I'll go from this side. It's basically free. We're going to have to wrestle it past the headers on your side. I don't know how well it is balanced. It's more or less free over here. Oh yeah, you need the creeper. It might be in my cardboard. Even I'm wrong. Is it your header on your side or what?
This side is tight as fuck.
Happens if we let the jack down.
Because it's off the transmission, or it's off the engine. Like I can pull it. All right, going. We're just hitting the down. What's that? It's gonna fall. All right, it just needs to go straight back. I'm gonna put my knee up against it so it falls into my lap. Get some wires. Now what? Oh, we're on top of the header still. Back. Are we over your header? Oh yeah, we're good.
Let her down. This way. Yes.
Okay. Now, I'm gonna slowly.
Whoa. What about this cable? This cable?
Ow! It's on my arm. I'm stuck. Okay. I'm. What is it?
What is this cable?
That's the TV cable. It's just hung up there. Hitsa! Hitsa! All right, dipstick pulled out. Okay.
Good.
Okay. Stand flip one in. Shifter. Alrighty. Alright, she's ours. What's the time?
11:59.
2 hours, 15 minutes. 14 minutes. Ain't bad, Caleb, ain't bad. Shut up, bird. Okay, bird. What is that? What is that? Well, there's not much steel on a chain. Hey! Hey! What are these ladybug doing? Yikes. So I ran up here on my lunch break. This is a transmission cooler flusher. Basically, it's got a heater in there, and it heats fluid and pushes it through, kind of pulses it through, and helps dissolve any of the goop. And then there's a filter in here that you can see what you've got now. So this is that filter after 15 minutes, which isn't very long with this flush machine. So definitely some shit in there. So then after had the transmission out and I flushed that cooler out, I sent the transmission off to my buddy and he took it somewhere, got it took care of. And then while that was gone, getting worked on, Caleb and I worked on putting a lift kit on the car, which that consisted of, in the front end, I bought some spacers off Summit Racing. I'll throw a picture of them up. They actually worked really well. They weren't that expensive. And the front end, the way the spring kind of has the pigtail, you had to use those. But on the rear end, I actually made some of my own, just out of some pipe and stuff. I don't know if I have a picture of them or not. But it actually worked. And I get made fun of for lifting a Camaro because you don't do that. But I drive a lot of gravel, and there's speed bumps places, and I want to drive my car, and I want to be able to, you know, enjoy it. And if you're bottoming out every 30 seconds, I ain't enjoying it. So that's what I did, and there's some funny clips in there, so enjoy.
Not so sealed beams. More or less sealed beams.
Jack! Jack!
There he is. Hey, buddy. Hey, buddy.
Okay, when do you need us to be there? Alright.
Hitsa! This is what fear looks like. Pure, unadulterated fear.
Now, if you're an atheist, I recommend you don't put one of those spacers in. Because you need your guardian angel. And if you ain't on good terms with them, it ain't happening. if you're wondering what tools you need, that's what it is. Having one of these helps too. It, can't hurt. So you're gonna start up here, pop that cap off, and then that should be like a 10 millimeter or a 3/8, but some Sam Bachman individual stripped it off with a 12 point at some point. So that's gonna be a vice grip size. And this feller here is more or less a 13/16. It's probably actually a 21, but we didn't have 21, so you gotta make it work. So let me find some vice grips. So once you have your multi-purpose holding tool on there, you can work that free, but you're gonna need 2 hands, which I don't have right now. And now, before you take that off, make sure you have your house slave push the jack underneath of it with the block. Don't forget the block.
Where is it?
I don't know. There's the block. Because the floor jack's not going to be high enough for reassembly.
Because some house nigga
What is
jacked it up too high.
Yeah, you'll
Put the
have it.
jack stand too high.
Yeah. And next, you're going to take a 13 millimeter or a half, depending on how you swing, and take that nut off so that you'll have more slack out of the hose there. And you're also going to take your sway bar link off. You just loosen it up at the top, and then at the bottom, that one's more or less a 9/16. Whoa, okay. Good brakes on this car, huh? Yeah. Never goes fast enough to have to stop. But yep, you're going to do that. And then for me, I just let this sag out and hold it out of the way. Since we're not actually swapping out the coil spring, we can maybe get away with it. Or we did on the other side at least. We'll see what this side is
You
like.
ain't gotta worry about brakes. This motherfucker never leaves his garage.
Yeah, Yeah, you'll have that. Long tube headers though, pretty sweet. Oh, cut. Okay. So you're gonna get all your hardware loosened. Just okay, that's scary. That's enough. That's enough. Okay, stop. Okay. So you're gonna go till you're scared, which was about
I'm so
30
scared.
seconds ago. And you're gonna get the compressor in there. Wear glasses and gloves and hazmat suit but not a COVID mask though. Okay, I need help. So this is the combination that you need on these cars, because your rod is going to come up through the bottom, but if you don't have this, then you're going to hit the top side. If this was threaded in like this would be hitting the top side of the coil bucket before you're actually compressing the spring enough to do enough good. And then on reassembly, I eliminate this guy, and then just use this and having the sandwich plate up underneath on the bottom of the coil spring, or on the lower control arm. Because on reassembly, you actually need to compress the spring enough that you can actually get this back in. Because if you don't do that, you're going to try to lift underneath this with a floor jack, but it's going to lift the whole car because it's not heavy enough for the spring rate. You want that?
Is this what you use to cut your meat?
No, we tried it once and it did not work. Start over. Gosh darn it. God darn it. God darn it, Gunter. Okay. Let me tell you, Caleb, she's got a horse and she listens to Tyler Childers. You need to run. I don't care if that thing be farting. You need to run. Okay, but anyway, back on the car. You see I have my coil spring spacer installed. I might have enough throw. It's just a trick between not getting the tool stuck in there, because then you're in a real hairy situation. So I've got access through the bottom with this. We're going to tighten it up and say some St. Michael, the Archangel prayers. See what we can do. Also put the jack back under it. Hits. You're gonna
you're going to strategically place the strut between the spring and your face. Slow it. It's not going to stop it, but it's going to slow her down a little bit. That's the wrong Titan. Other Titan. Okay. Yep. Mm-hmm. So then hopefully it gets, does something. Okay. That's good. Pretty tight. Okay, now that it's tightened, you kind of back up a little bit. Lower the floor jack. Reposition strategically. Uh-oh. I'm gonna need your help, Caleb. Where's the spacer?
Right here. Because I looked ahead.
Okay, good work. You might get to come work in the house. And then after working on the Camaro all weekend, it was the time I needed to go back to college, and I realized that I hadn't put the alternator on the El Camino that I'd been meaning to put on for like a year because it was making deathly noises. So Caleb and I took that off, and this is what we found.
Do the thing. Oh no! I really hope that's the right replacement because I have places to be. Oh, there it is. Yeah, that's where it locks up. Nice.
And oh yeah, the one I had in the box was not the right replacement. So I went to O'Reilly's, got a new one, but it had the wrong pulley and it was clocked wrong. So I had to take it apart. The springs fly out of the brushes, put it back together, which took like an hour. Put it back together, put a pulley off of the wrong alternator that was the right pulley. And then somehow it worked, and I drove back to college that night. God be with me, I guess. And then by this point in the story, it was just before I was going home for Christmas break, and my buddy gives me a text. Transmission was done, and he was going to bring it to me. But it worked out real good. I had a better opportunity than that. I was able to go get it myself. Boss makes $1. I make a dime. Pick up the transmission on company time. And then brought the transmission home. And like a real great content creator, I mean the finest of stock, I didn't film any of it. I've got one little clip that I'll show you guys. But no, I came home on a Friday night, or it was a Saturday morning, picked up Caleb, we threw the transmission in. By that night, we were driving the thing around. And then I also did some rewiring on the thing, which I'm pretty proud of. I'll just throw in some pictures of that. Basically, what I did was I took all of the fuel injection crap out of the engine bay because it still had the provisions for the TBI 2.8 liter, and being carburetor didn't need all that. So I pulled all that out, put some new relays in, put some new fuses in, did an ECU delete, which I was super stoked about, and that's about it. And then I drove it up here. And then, of course, forgot to mention this, the same day that the transmission died, on the way home, I was trying to get it to shift into fourth, but it wouldn't. And then 4 little baby deers crossed the road at once. Bam! He ain't gonna make it. L. Killed him though. I might throw that clip in too. But so now it's back up here to go to auto collision. And like a real man. I mean a real man. Fender on the dining room table for today. Yin Yang off of the Amazon. Shut up, Timmy. And yeah. So just enjoy the rest of the clips.
First wash in years. It's leaking through the window. I got Caleb catching it in an old bucket. That's like a dehumidifier tray. You want to leave the car running in the sealed. You want to leave the car running in the sealed car wash. It's safer for you. Keeps it warm. You don't want nothing freezing, you know. As a bonus, for you guys that watched all the way through this nonsense to the end, you get to see all the clips of me sliding the golf cart around. Because I didn't just take the first one. No, I'm all about perfection here, okay? Quality. Integrity. So yeah, you're welcome. Enjoy.